if this is about continuing of the World War II in East Asia, but the rise of new nation states definitely is influencing, historical memories of these women and creating different types of narratives.
I would like to mention that the women factor is an important way to understanding why it never stops and it revives over and over. If you look at the comfort women issue raising, for the first 50 years, nobody talked about it in the public forum. There was some Korean comfort women who was abandoned and then spotted in Thailand and came to Korea in the 1980s, and it was a big media issue. However, it never was successful to be a public agenda. However, in the 1990s, Korea was able to raise this issue because of the women factor. Women's NGO got organized, and then they pushed the issue. Whenever Japanese Prime Minister, for example, Miyazawa in 1992, visiting South Korea, having a summit meeting with the Korean president, they were very vocal. And do you know where is the site for protest? Just in front of the Japanese embassy in downtown Seoul. Actually, last week, I think, they had a 1,174th rallies in front of Japanese embassy, asking Japan to admit its war crimes, be responsible and punish those, and also teach your youngsters about the Japan's war history and things like that. So these women tirelessly push this issue, and it doesn't look like it's going to die. And finally, those women's group, Comfort Women Advocacy Group, also brought their case to the Korea's Constitutional Court a few years ago, and then it forced the government to take care of this issue. Therefore, from the Korean government point of view, because of the Constitutional Court order, they should take care of it. And then timing was Shinzo Abe. So I think it became even more, live issue. Thank you. While you are talking, should I just briefly introduce these paintings? These were done by Korean comfort women survivors. The first one is Punish the Guilty. So the soldiers is tied, and then there are, some violence, gun shooting positions, but at the same time, it shows that the ultimate image is those, peace kind of things. And this one is drawn by another Korean comfort woman victim. And the title of this painting is, I think, Dragged by Force or something like that. We have more. This one, can anybody tell? The flowers, the tree is Japanese sakura tree, cherry trees, right? Symbolizing Japan and the soldier. And the title of the painting is Lost Virginity. And this one is about another painting, naked woman in front of soldiers. So as part of the healing, they were having an art class, and then these women started to draw this. And then that one is titled Comfort Station in Labao, Papua New Guinea, because that woman was stationed there. Very powerful paintings. Thank you.
I'd like to.
There's one right up in front of us.
Pardon? I would like to thank colleagues on this panel for organizing it. It's very educational. I've learned a lot. 2 points. I kept thinking about this issue of voice and silencing. I think these women, because of what Chongwen was talking about, that they were not in the position to know the large picture. So they were not able to understand what was really happening on a larger scale. They were silenced at that time when they were experiencing this horrible system. And they later were silenced for decades by a heavy sense of guilt. They were not the ones who were supposed to blame themselves, but they did because they felt a sense of shame, both in the sense of the collective memory, of the national memory, or the moral codes in which they lived, that they were women and they had been damaged. They felt ashamed. I'm not making this up because it was around the mid-1990s, one of the Korean scholars, a lawyer who actually interviewed some of these women, she showed us the documentary that they made at the time. And these women actually could not find the word, vocabulary, to describe who they were and what they experienced. These words actually did not even exist. The words that did exist, they did not want to employ them. For example, prostitutes. They didn't feel they were prostitutes. They didn't want to feel ashamed. Yet there were no other vocabulary for them to use. And today, we still see even more attempts to silence them. And ever since I heard the news about this panel, I couldn't help stop thinking about this issue of what is our ethical position or responsibility as scholars. And it is related to this issue of silencing. We are individuals, we're human beings. We all have our own identities and we all have our own biases. But at the same time, what scholarship is about is it's a tool that should help us to go beyond our own limitations and biases. As scholars, as teachers, we have an ethical responsibility to bring in the voices of those people who are no longer here, who can no longer speak anymore. And if we only advocate our own positions for our students, we are not doing our job as educators. And the last point is my own daughter, who's a middle school student, this morning asked me, "Mommy, did we win the Vietnam War?" I said, I wouldn't say that. And she said, then did Vietnam win it? I said, I wouldn't say that either. Nobody wins in the war. And nobody wins in a war like that. And so the question is, what constitutes a historical lesson? Why do we even look at history? If we get into the habit of only thinking about historical lessons or history in terms of national boundaries and national identity, then we could play this blaming game on whoever. But truth be told, that I think nobody won in this situation, in this history, because the whole humanity was brought down so low. So the true historical lesson is that every country, every community, no matter what your nationality, your ethnicity, your gender, your generational differences, the lesson we should learn from this is to show some respect to humanity, to the people who do not occupy those powerful positions.
My name is John Oh. I was born in 1936 in North Korea. During Japanese occupation, I went to elementary school, third year. And I'm really glad to be here to speak of Korean Comfort Woven matter. And I was thinking about the Comfort Woven for last 7 years. Because my parents, my brothers, sister told me that how Japanese government forcefully recruited Korean innocent young ladies. When I was a young lady, over 14, 15, camouflage like an old lady and walk on street. They're afraid of Wall Street. They're hiding home because Japanese saw the policemen abducted for the comfort woman. That's the real story. And also one of my church members, unfortunately she died. She told me that this whole Korea, when she went to women's university in Seoul, she was a sophomore. University of what? Even women's university has assembly anyone who is junior or senior to the university, the women's university. They assembled. They told them that you should join Jongsindae, women's comfort woman. They loaded a truck. They went somewhere. She told me so. That's only 30 years ago. Okay? And several stories I heard about it from my relatives, my family. And the Japanese keep telling me, I just attended a meeting next door. There are a lot of things they're telling me they're a true story. About somebody made up story. Japanese scholars and a minister corner, Asaki also, several historians, Japanese government apologized to government. A Japanese act was wrong, brutal, inhuman. When I was young after World War II, I heard that a lot of ladies work as a comfort woman could not come to home. It's a disgrace for family. And who does so prostitute act, okay? Korean tradition, same as other nations, same way. So either they